What's up, everybody? Rob here. Today we're going to demo the barbell squat. A real basic movement. Now, don't get me wrong, machines have their place, but it's nothing like good old free weights. All right, so today what we're going to do, when you're approaching the load, in this case we're using the barbell, you want to start with body weight movement. So we're going to, you start out with body weight squats, kettlebells, dumbbells is a great progression, and then you move into the big boy status. All right. So in this case, let's get the show on the road. When you approach the barbell, you want to make sure you're ready to go. All right. So mind-body connection, big chest, shoulder blades retracted. That way you're engaged, back is supported. You notice that, and basically let the legs, your lower body, do its job. All right. So very important tips before you get into the movement. You want to make sure you're squared off and basically shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip, right? Your core. You want to make sure that's squared off. You don't want to be twisting. You don't want this type of effect. When you go into the squat, you want to make sure you have good form and technique as well. That way, when you break at your hips, you sit back, pushing your knees out as you go up and down. That way, you get optimal results with any movement you're doing, especially in this case, the squat. What we're going to do is approach the barbell. Good cue is 2 steps, right? Once you go into rack position, basically over your shoulders, you want to take 2 steps back, no more. You don't want to be far from the rack. That way, if something happens, some kind of situation, you're close enough to unload the weight, get it off your body, whatever the case is. So in this case, what we're going to do, we're going to go underneath the barbell, step into it, make sure we're engaged, shoulder blades retracted, nice overhand grip. If you notice, my elbows are pointed down and back, so I have a lot of support for my back as well. Food for thought, when you lift the barbell off the rack, you don't want one of these situations going on. You're going to hurt your back eventually, especially if you get to heavier loads. All right, we're creatures of habit. If you start having bad habits in the beginning, when you progress, those bad habits are going to carry over, and you're definitely going to hurt yourself. So you want to reduce the risk of injury. That's very important. So stay humble. Very, very important. All right. So basically, go into the position. All right. Square it off, and I'm going to squat the weight up. Squat it up. I'm going to take 2 steps back. 1, 2. That's it. Don't go further from the rack. Make sure your feet are in proper position. So I would say anywhere between hip and shoulder width, and turn your toes out just barely, slightly. And we're going to break at the hips first. It's very, very important that you break at the hips first. So looks like I'm in a pretty good position. And I'm going to break at the hips. If you watch and I demo it, I break at the hips. Everything else is going to follow. And I'm pushing the knees out as I go up and down. You want your hips parallel to your knees or below. All right, this is not a quad, just a quad movement. You'll see a lot of people tend to go quarter squats. They're basically just working the quads. And I think you want to work everything when you're doing squats. All right, so you want those hamstrings involved, you want the adductors, abductors, medius, minimus, you name it, you want it working in your glutes. Very, very important. So break at your hips, sit back, pushing your knees out. Sitting back, chest is up, back is straight, head is neutral spine. If you notice, I'm just about, should be about hip parallel to my knees. I'm probably below, which I see, and then I want to drive it up, pushing my knees out. Lock out, squeeze at the top, and then reset. Go into the movement again, pushing the knees out, breaking at the hips first, sitting back, and then pushing my feet into the ground, locking out. All right, step into the rack, and then drop it down in squat position. All right, so it's very important. This video is more for people who can't afford training and need some kind of cues and tips and coaching. I feel fitness should be for everybody. not just certain individuals. So if this could help one person, I'm good with that. And stay tuned to the next episode, all right? So stay fit, stay strong, be better than yesterday, and I'll see you soon.